Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and esteemed participants, a very warm welcome to all of you to this timely and significant webinar on the topic Addressing Threats from India's Eastern Borders and Regional Cooperation. Today, we gather here to delve into crucial discussions surrounding the challenges faced by India along its eastern borders and explore avenues for regional cooperation to address these threats effectively. India's eastern borders, particularly with neighboring countries like Myanmar, Bangladesh, have been witness to diverse geopolitical, security, and socio-economic dynamics. The need for a comprehensive understanding of these challenges and fostering regional cooperation has never been more imperative. Today, we are honored to have a distinguished panel of speakers who bring with them a wealth of knowledge and expertise in the realm of border security, intelligence, international relations, and academia. Firstly, let me have the privilege to introduce our very own Mr. Sanjiv Krishan Sood, sir, the esteemed Director General of Borderman. He's a distinguished retired Additional Director General of the Border Security Force with an illustrious career spanning over 38 years. During this period of dedicated service, he has patrolled along the entirety of India's borders with Pakistan and Bangladesh. He spent 8 years on the line of control and in the sensitive Samba sector of Jammu and Kashmir, demonstrating his expertise in managing challenging and critical areas. His passion for understanding the intricate interplay of politics and security is complemented by a distinctive sense of humor that adds a unique dimension to his persona. In addition to his on-field contributions, Mr. Sood has shared his wealth of knowledge through the written word. An accomplished author, he has penned a book and contributed several chapters on the nuanced subject of border security. He's also a familiar face on mainstream news channels, where he serves as a regular participant in television debates. His articulate and informed perspectives make him a sought-after voice, adding value to public discussions on vital issues. Sood, sir, could I kindly request you to share your valuable insights on the topic and set the stage for the conversation? Thank you.
Thank you, Anuradha, for that very kind introduction. Before I touch upon the theme of the topic, I would like to say a couple of sentences about our distinguished panelists while leaving the detailed introduction to you later on when they have their turn to speak. See, firstly, Dr. Shahana Ghosh, good afternoon and welcome to the webinar. I have known her now for the last couple of years, and her insights into the problems related to bordermen, the retired bordermen, and also about the intricacies of what happens along the borders has been well chronicled in her latest book called 1,000 Tiny Cuts, Mobility and Security Across India-Bangladesh Border. She is presently teaching at Singapore University, and I'm sure that we'll all be benefited by her insights into her detailed studies along the Indo-Bangladesh border and thereabout. Ajay has been a dear colleague. We have almost had parallel careers in our service. I've always found him to be a very forward-thinking officer who applies his knowledge and experience to bring about improvements in the border guarding and border management spheres. Mayank isn't here presently. He'll join us later. He's a defense journalist of over 20 years standing and presently working with the New Indian Express. He's an expert on China border, having toured all along the India-China border in its entirety. We would be benefited by his experience that what he has seen along the China border. Now the topic. The topic as listed is addressing threats from eastern borders and regional cooperation. As we all know, we have a very long border, more than 4,000 kilometers of borders with Bangladesh on the east, besides about 1600 kilometers of borders with Myanmar. While our problems with Bangladesh border have more or less been resolved, except for a couple of ticklish issues like the Tista water treaty and all. However, the problems remain. Problems remain because of the ethnic and familial bonds that are there across the border. In spite of the fence having come up along this border, the mobility across the border hasn't really stopped because of the close family bonds between the people residing on both sides of the border, and also because of the population residing very close to the border. Nature of crime along these borders creates a problem both for the border men and also for the civilians, leading to a lot of violence, which leads to allegations of human rights violation, besides a very, very bad press in Bangladesh. Uh, in regard to Myanmar border, the present situation in Manipur is extremely worrisome. Even though the strife in Manipur is internally driven and internally sustained, the element of foreign interference or foreign support or illegal people coming from Myanmar and fueling the problem in Myanmar cannot be ruled out. Uh, as we know, the Myanmar is a drug hub, and a lot of drug comes in from there, which fuels insurgency in these areas, which has been fueling insurgencies in the past and also probably fueling the present strife to an extent. There have also been allegations of weapons being smuggled in from Myanmar. The recent announcement by the Home Minister about uh, doing away with the free movement regime and also fencing the border is also required to be considered in detail as to what effect will it have on our relations with Myanmar, besides the effect on the fragile ecology of the border region. Not only that, the logistics issues that will crop up in trying to take up the humongous task of fencing this 1600-kilometer long border, because presently there is no infrastructure available. There is no, and the terrain configuration in those areas is extremely difficult. The ecology is fragile. The ethnic bond between the tribes on both sides also will cause a lot of problem in construction of such a barrier. Another point to be considered is whether creating a barrier or ending the FMR is an overreaction. Can't there be other ways of managing these borders effectively? And lastly, the manner in which the borders are managed also affects our foreign relations with the neighboring countries. And therefore, keeping peace and tranquility on these borders is a prerequisite if we have to maintain better relations with these countries. And therefore, the regional cooperation is extremely important in these areas. Uh, with these words, I'll hand you back, Anuradha.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable insights.